Once a lively and spirited young woman, Gladys Presley transformed into a shadow of her former self as she faced the weight of family tragedies. After losing several loved ones, she devoted herself entirely to her only son, Elvis. Her world revolved around him, and she poured all her affection and hopes into his life. However, as Elvis rose to stardom, the very success that brought him joy also cast a long shadow over her existence. The relentless scrutiny of the public eye became unbearable for Gladys. She found herself overwhelmed by the pressures that accompanied her son's fame. The adoration and attention that surrounded Elvis often left her feeling isolated and anxious. The bright lights of his career illuminated her struggles, making her vulnerabilities more pronounced. Instead of basking in the glory of her son's achievements, she withered under the intolerant glare of fame, longing for the simpler days when their bond was untainted by the harsh realities of celebrity life. The love she had for Elvis became a double-edged sword, as the very success that should have brought them closer instead created a chasm filled with fear and loneliness. Gladys Love Smith Presley was born on April 25, 1912, in Mississippi, where she spent her early years in a modest environment, far removed from the luxuries and fame that her son, Elvis Presley, would later experience. As the daughter of a cotton farmer, Gladys grew up understanding the value of hard work and the struggles of rural life. In the 1930s, she met Vernon Presley at a church, and their connection blossomed into a romance that led them to elope on June 17, 1933. This union marked the beginning of their family life together. Tragically, their first child, Jessie, was a stillbirth, which deeply affected Gladys. This loss made her extremely protective of her only surviving son, Elvis. She poured all her love and care into him, shaping his early years with affection and support. Gladys's nurturing nature and strong bond with Elvis would play a significant role in his life, influencing his character and future career. The love and sacrifices she made for her family laid the foundation for the extraordinary journey that would follow in Elvis's life. Despite the challenges they faced, Gladys and Vernon Presley worked hard to provide for their son, Elvis. In 1937, Vernon was imprisoned for forgery, which left Gladys to raise Elvis on her own. This situation created significant financial hardships for the family. They struggled to make ends meet, often living in poverty. At one point, they lost their house, which added to their difficulties. Gladys did her best to care for Elvis, but the family often relied on the kindness of neighbors and assistance from the government to put food on the table. The community played a crucial role in supporting them during these tough times. Gladys's determination and love for Elvis shone through, as she worked tirelessly to ensure he had what he needed, even when times were tough. These early experiences shaped Elvis's character and work ethic, instilling in him a deep appreciation for family and the struggles they overcame together. Gladys gave birth to Elvis in 1935, marking the beginning of a life that would change music forever. As a mother, Gladys was deeply protective of her only son. This protectiveness stemmed from the tragic loss of her first child, which left a lasting impact on her. She feared that something terrible might happen to Elvis, leading her to be overly cautious in his upbringing. The family faced significant financial struggles, yet they always prioritized Elvis's well-being above all else. Despite their hardships, Gladys and Vernon worked hard to provide for him, ensuring he had the support he needed to thrive. After Vernon's indefinite suspension of his sentence in 1940, the family moved frequently, searching for stability. By 1945, they finally bought a new house, a sign of hope and progress. During this time, Elvis's talent began to shine through, captivating those around him and hinting at the extraordinary career that lay ahead. In 1948, the family moved to Memphis, Tennessee, seeking a fresh start in a new city. They settled in a public housing complex, which was a significant change for them. Elvis, still a young boy, found it difficult to adjust to this new environment. His shyness persisted, making it hard for him to make friends and connect with other children. This shyness was compounded by his mother, Gladys, who had her own fears and anxieties. Her protective nature further restricted Elvis, as she often worried about his well-being and safety. During World War II, his father, Vernon, worked at a prisoner of war camp, which added to the family's stress. The war years were tough, and the family faced many challenges. Tragically, during this time, Gladys suffered a miscarriage, which deeply affected her. In her grief, she turned all her attention and care toward Elvis, creating a strong bond between mother and son. This close relationship would shape Elvis's life and career in many ways. Gladys, and Vernon instilled strong moral values in Elvis from a young age. They believed in the importance of hard work, respect, and kindness. Gladys, despite having little formal education, was determined to ensure that Elvis received a proper education. She understood that knowledge was key to a better life, and she worked tirelessly to support his learning. The family faced many challenges, including financial struggles, but they always prioritized Elvis's well-being and future. They made sacrifices to provide for him, showing him the value of perseverance and dedication. As a young boy, Elvis began to help support his family financially. He took on various jobs, demonstrating a strong work ethic that would stay with him throughout his life. Whether it was delivering newspapers or working odd jobs, he contributed to the household income. This early experience shaped his understanding of responsibility and the importance of family. The love and support from Gladys and Vernon laid the foundation for Elvis's character, influencing not only his personal life but also his future career in music. At 15, Elvis had a strong desire to play football, a sport that excited him and offered a chance to bond with friends. However, his parents, Gladys and Vernon, were deeply concerned about his safety. Their worries intensified after a tragic incident where a boy died from a football injury. This event left a lasting impression on them, making them even more protective of their son. They shared their fears with Elvis, explaining the risks involved in playing such a physically demanding sport. Understanding his parents' concerns and wanting to ease their worries, Elvis decided to quit football. This decision showcased not only his obedience, but also his deep care for his mother's feelings. He prioritized their peace of mind over his own desires, reflecting the close-knit relationship he had with his family during his formative years. This moment marked a significant point in his teenage life, highlighting the influence of his parents on his choices and the values they instilled in him. In 1953, Elvis Presley took a significant step in his journey to fame with a heartfelt gesture for his mother, Gladys. He recorded the song My Happiness as a birthday gift for her. This moment marked the beginning of his musical career, but it was not until he was 19 that he truly captured the public's attention. His first hit, That's Alright, played on the radio and resonated with many listeners. The song's success was a turning point for Elvis, propelling him into the spotlight. Gladys, who had always been a source of support for him, felt a mix of pride and fear. She was proud of her son's achievements, but also worried about the sudden changes in their lives. The fame that came with his music brought new challenges, and she was concerned about how the public exposure would affect their family. As Elvis's career took off, the dynamics of their lives shifted dramatically, leading to both excitement and anxiety for Gladys. The early days of his career were filled with hope and uncertainty, setting the stage for the legendary status he would eventually achieve. Elvis Presley's rise to fame brought significant challenges for his mother, Gladys. She struggled deeply with the overwhelming attention that surrounded her son. The constant presence of female fans made her uncomfortable, as she felt a sense of competition and insecurity. This attention was not just a fleeting moment, it was a constant part of their lives. The family's move to Graceland, which was meant to be a new beginning, only intensified her feelings of despair. In this grand estate, she felt isolated and unable to socialize in a normal way. The pressures of fame created a barrier between her and the outside world, leaving her feeling trapped in a life that was no longer familiar. To cope with her growing anxiety and sadness, Gladys turned to amphetamines and alcohol. These substances became a way for her to escape the reality of her situation, but they also led to further complications in her life. The struggle with Elvis's fame took a toll on her mental health, highlighting the darker side of celebrity life that often goes unnoticed. Despite his immense fame and success, Elvis Presley remained deeply devoted to his mother Gladys. His love for her was evident in the way he sought to provide a life of luxury for his parents. He purchased Graceland, a grand estate that symbolized his achievements, and offered a comfortable home for his family. However, this decision also had unintended consequences. The lavish surroundings of Graceland contributed to Gladys's feelings of loneliness. As she found herself isolated in the large house, her struggles with alcohol began to surface. Elvis, focused on his career and providing for his family, often ignored the signs of her drinking. He was dedicated to ensuring that she had everything she needed, but this devotion did not extend to addressing her emotional well-being. Instead, he concentrated on the material aspects of her life, believing that financial support would suffice. This complex relationship between Elvis and his mother highlights the challenges of fame and the deep emotional ties that can sometimes lead to unintended consequences. As Elvis Presley's career began to soar, his mother, Gladys, faced a serious decline in her health. She suffered from hepatitis, a condition that caused her great pain and discomfort. Despite the wealth and success that Elvis was achieving, Gladys expressed deep misery. The joy of her son's fame was overshadowed by her own struggles. In 1958, when Elvis joined the Army, it marked a significant turning point for both of them. The separation was hard on Gladys, and her health continued to worsen during this time. The stress and worry about her son's safety added to her decline. Sadly, on August 14, 1958, Gladys passed away, leaving a profound impact on Elvis. Her death was a devastating blow to him, as they shared a close bond. The loss of his mother during such a pivotal moment in his life changed him forever. Elvis often spoke of his love for Gladys and how much she meant to him, highlighting the deep connection they had throughout his life. Elvis was deeply affected by the death of his mother, Gladys Presley. This loss left a mark on him that he never truly overcame. He had a profound love for her, and her passing brought immense grief into his life. To honor her memory, he made sure that her favorite band played at her funeral, a gesture that showed how much he cherished her. After her death, he continued to express his love and remembrance by maintaining her grave with fresh flowers. This act of devotion lasted until his own death, highlighting the lasting impact of her loss on him. Elvis's grief was not just a fleeting emotion, it was a part of his life that shaped him as a person and an artist. The bond he shared with his mother was incredibly strong, and her absence created a void that he struggled to fill. Even as he achieved fame and success, the pain of losing Gladys remained a significant part of his story. Elvis inherited many traits from Gladys, which shaped his personality and lifestyle. One of the most notable traits was impulsiveness. This characteristic often led him to make quick decisions without fully considering the consequences. Alongside this impulsiveness was a strong need to spend money. As Elvis rose to fame and fortune, he found himself indulging in various luxuries and excesses. This behavior mirrored his mother's struggles with control and moderation. Gladys had her own battles with excess, and it seems that Elvis, in many ways, followed in her footsteps. The lavish lifestyle he adopted included extravagant purchases, from cars to jewelry, reflecting a desire to enjoy life to the fullest. However, this overindulgence also brought challenges, as it sometimes led to financial strain and personal issues. The connection between Elvis and Gladys highlights how familial traits can influence one's life choices, often in ways that are both rewarding and problematic. The legacy of these traits can be seen throughout Elvis's career and personal life, illustrating the complex relationship between a mother and her son. Elvis frequently spoke about his mother Gladys with his future wife Priscilla. He often noted a resemblance between them, which deepened his connection to both women. Gladys was not just a mother to Elvis, she was a guiding force in his life. Her influence shaped his character and values, and he carried her memory with him throughout his career. Even after her passing, which occurred in 1958, her presence remained strong in his heart and mind. Elvis often reflected on the lessons he learned from her, and he cherished the love and support she provided during his formative years. This bond was so profound that Elvis died on the same date as Gladys, August 16, 1977, 19 years after her death. This coincidence added a layer of significance to their relationship, highlighting how deeply intertwined their lives were. Elvis's legacy is not only marked by his music and fame, but also by the enduring connection he had with his mother, which influenced him until the very end. At Graceland, Elvis, Gladys, and Vernon Presley rest side by side, a poignant reminder of the strong family ties that defined Elvis's life. This burial site symbolizes the deep love and loyalty Elvis had for his mother, Gladys, who played a crucial role in his upbringing. Gladys was not just a mother to Elvis, she was his confidant and his greatest supporter. Their bond was so strong that even after her passing, Elvis felt a profound sense of loss that shaped his life and career. Vernon, Elvis's father, also shared a close relationship with his son, and being buried alongside Gladys and Elvis reflects the unity of their family. The choice of Graceland as their final resting place adds to the significance, as it was not only Elvis's home, but also a sanctuary where he created countless memories with his family. This family reunion and death mirrors the love and connection they shared in life, highlighting the importance of family in Elvis's journey. The gravesite has become a place of pilgrimage for fans who come to pay their respects, and feel the enduring spirit of the Presley family. The legacy of their bond continues to resonate, reminding everyone of the power of family love and